everyone. Talking about why you need an appraisal for the real estate process. That's what our video is going to be about today. All right, everyone. Well, welcome back. And I'm your co-host Stephen Norris with Keller Williams Realty, and as always, my co-host Michael Dyer with Megastar Financial. And so today's topic, we're going to be talking about why you need to have an appraisal when you're looking to buy your house. Now, there are only going to be a couple of reasons why it's very, very important to have it, but nonetheless, these are very critical milestones to meet. And so right now, Michael, talk to us about what are some of the aspects on the lending side why the appraisal is so critical.
Well, the biggest thing is it offers value, right? Because in the end, we're as a lender, we're going to, support the borrower, and we're giving a good portion to help buy that property. So we're going to either use the appraised value or the sales price, whichever is lower in that case. And today, in our market, we're seeing a lot of appraisal contingencies to where, they're not doing the appraisal or worried about that value. But on the lending side, we definitely need to know what that value of that property is. And we're only going to lend on that, on what the value of that property is. So that's why it's really, really important. I mean, the only other time that I can really think of, Stephen, that you don't need it is if you're buying pretty much property with cash. But if you're getting any kind of loan on that property, you definitely need an appraisal.
That's awesome. And so just to re-clarify what Michael was talking about, unless you are buying your property 100% in cash, you have to have an appraisal for the real estate process. And the reason why is because the lender on your current loan for the property, they need to make sure that what they are selling you that loan at, appraises for the value. And there are only going to be a couple of times in the real estate part of the transaction where something becomes very, very critical. One of the pieces is going to be if the appraisal does not come in as high as the offer price is, not the purchase price, the offer price. There's a very big difference there, all right? So here's a situation to deal with that. You have an offer price of $400,000. The appraisal comes in at $380,000. There are only one of two ways now that we have to move forward. Either number one, you as the buyer or the borrower need to come out of pocket the additional difference, whether that be a second loan in some circumstances, so you have a second mortgage now, or you have to just pay it all in cash sometimes. And the second way to do that is either you have to negotiate with a seller. So either you can kind of meet in the middle, so you each pay $10,000 to meet that gap, or the seller reduces their price all the way to $380,000 to match what the appraisal is. So that's really, why the appraisal is very, very important in real estate transaction. Why? Unless you're buying it all cash, you have to have the appraisal. But with that being said, Michael, what are some of the final remarks to the folks out there?
Well, the biggest remark is, I'll touch on what you just said, on the appraisal coming in, if you've made an offer for 400 and that appraisal comes in at 380, it's a great example of us using the 380. And predominantly in the contract, if there's no contingencies that you have prepared for with the seller, well, then that's another negotiating spot for the borrower to go ahead and let that seller know that the property's not worth 400,000. That's currently worth 380. So most of the time, either, if there's no contingencies in that appraisal, then that borrower is coming up with that 20,000. You're not going to be able to go outside and find really another bank to do a second or anybody else because the property's not worth that, right? And we're not going to do loans over 100% in this market. Mm-hmm. So you got to have some scratch in the game, and that's really what's going to happen with that. We're going to loan on the 380. So we're going to go back and have you be the expert, Stephen, and renegotiate and let those sellers know that, their eyes are a little bit bigger and property's not worth that.
Awesome. Well, everyone, if this is your first time watching our videos, then please like, comment, and share down below with everybody that you think would value from these videos. And in addition, please follow us because we do these videos every often about the topics you tell us you want to learn more about. So, with that being said, we'll see everyone later and have a great